News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
State and local law enforcement agencies respond to last week's Dallas shootings. Good morning, everyone. Montana Morning for Monday, July 11th, 2016. Feels look more like March out there right now. With we've got a heavy rain falling and have been most of the night. We're sitting at 48 degrees in Missoula right now. Newscast this morning, sponsored by Office City, celebrating 100 years in business this year. See them for office supplies and furniture, price match guarantees, and free next-day delivery. 5 Dallas police officers were shot and killed, 7 others injured Thursday night during a Black Lives Matter protest in Dallas. In Missoula, local law enforcement personnel were shocked and saddened by the loss of their brother officers in Texas. Missoula County Sheriff T.J. McDermott.
The events that occurred in Dallas last night just serve as a reminder of how dangerous the job of being a law enforcement officer can be. And it's no different than here in Missoula. Our deputies have a very difficult and sometimes dangerous job.
Missoula Police Chief Mike Brady pointed out the differences in the way law enforcement agencies in Missoula deal with the public.
We also need to recognize that this department is known for being respectful and professional and caring, and that's what makes us the agency that we are. And we care for the community, and we care for the other members of the department. We will provide any counseling services or anything that our officers might need, either internally or from resources outside.
Montana Attorney General Tim Fox issued the following press release, and I quote, "The horrific tragedy in Dallas is a reminder to all of us that every single day, the men and women of law enforcement put themselves in harm's way to protect us and keep our communities safe. They and their families make tremendous sacrifices on our behalf, and we owe them a debt we can never fully repay. Let us honor the memory of Dallas's fallen officers by thanking and supporting all city, county, state, federal, and tribal law enforcement officers who serve Montana with courage and dedication." A man has been charged in connection with the shooting death of a 20-year-old Helena man. The Independent Record reports that Austin Lee Kroll McLaughlin is facing charges of deliberate homicide and tampering with or fabricating evidence. The 18-year-old suspect is accused of shooting Ryan William Eakin in a parking lot last Thursday. The man died at the scene. Court documents say authorities responded to the scene after a boy at a nearby recreation center reported seeing a man with a gun. 2 teens from the center reportedly attempted to render aid to Eakin. Police say Kroll McLaughlin was taken into custody shortly after the shooting on an unrelated bond revocation and wasn't charged with the crime until Friday. He's being held on $200,000 bail. 34-year-old Ben Belcourt appeared in Missoula Justice Court Friday, charged with felony burglary and criminal mischief after an alleged smash-and-grab robbery at the Gem Shop Jewelers in downtown Missoula. Deputy Missoula County Attorney Celine Kepke explained why she was asking Judge Karen Orzek for $25,000 bail.
He's charged with burglary, felony criminal mischief, and other misdemeanors for smashing a glass door and window of 2 local businesses, stealing jewelry, and then leaving the scene. When he was arrested, he refused to give his name and threatened to, quote, look up the officer once he was out and asked if the officer had children.
Kepke related part of Belcourt's lengthy criminal history.
His criminal history includes a 2000 charge for criminal contempt, a 2001 conviction for bail revocation, possession of dangerous drugs, possession of drug paraphernalia, 2 convictions for drug paraphernalia. 2002 includes theft, possession of dangerous drugs, possession of drug paraphernalia.
Judge Orzek set bail at $10,000 and ordered Belcourt to have no contact with the Gem Shop, the Missoula Police Department, and that he have access only to prescription medication. It was Orzek's final appearance on the bench. She officially retired on Friday. Missoula County Attorney's Office was relatively quiet last week after having one of the busiest weeks in recent memory last month. County Attorney Kirsten Pabst explains.
Number-wise, it was a relatively quiet week. We had 8 new cases opened, a couple of fugitives, couple partner family member assaults, several drug cases. And then we did file the charges against Mark Palmer for allegedly causing the death of the little baby, Braden Beal.
The death of 5-month-old Beal happened back on March 30th, but charges only occurred last week.
If there are going to be other charges, that would be not appropriate to talk about it at this point. Yeah, the investigation was exhaustive, and I can assure you that it is ongoing. We've had some questions about why it took a couple of months to get the case charged, and I can tell you one thing is that we charged it as soon as we had probable cause.
One of the factors involved in the delay of charges was that authorities had to wait for the autopsy of the child and the return of DNA testing results. Authorities are investigating a two-vehicle accident in Yellowstone Park that left several people seriously injured. According to the Cody Enterprise in Wyoming, a main road was closed for about an hour Friday after the accident. The injured were flown to a local hospital. The accident occurred on the park's Grand Loop Road north of Old Faithful near the popular Grand Prismatic Spring. The Lewis and Clark County Humane Society is caring for 9 dogs that a South Korean woman said she saved from being killed for meat. Humane Society Director Gina Wiest says 2 dog farms near Seoul have closed as a result of Humane Society international efforts that resulted in the rescue of 80 dogs. Wiest says the Humane Society plans an open house tomorrow to showcase the dogs from Korea. The animals don't yet understand English commands, of course. The Helena Independent Record reports few people in South Korea are willing to adopt rescued dogs. The animals were flown to the U.S., where many of them have already been placed into homes. Well, it appears that individual market health insurance prices will be going up again next year, possibly way up. According to Montana Insurance and Exchange Commissioner Monica Lindeen, the rate requests for 3 health insurance providers on the Affordable Care Act's marketplace are all asking for higher rates.
Blue Cross Blue Shield requested an average rate change of 62%. Montana Health Co-op requested an average rate change of 22%. And Pacific Source requested an average rate change of 19.8%.
If you found the 62% rate hike by Blue Cross Blue Shield is shocking, well, you're not alone. It could be the highest insurance rate hike in Montana history, according to Lindeen.
Well, I was just as shocked as you are, believe me, when I saw the rate filing. And so one of the things that I've decided to do, because I believe it's really in the public interest, because this is so unusual, is I'm going to hold a public hearing, which will be on the 26th of July. It'll start at 9 o'clock a.m. in the Hart Building here in Helena.
During the hearings, Lindeen says the health insurance companies will be asked to explain the rising rates. Those that cannot make it to the hearings can leave comments at csi.mt.gov until August 5th. It's important to note these are not final rates, only rate requests, and it is possible the final rates will drop after these hearings. Our News Talk time is 6:12.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Areas of rain expected during the first half of the day, with the threat of showers starting to taper off by the afternoon. By the afternoon, we'll be sitting under partly to mostly cloudy skies with our high temperatures in the upper 60s. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.